Hi, I'm Mike Villan with the Grand Rapids Area Lacrosse Officials Association. This presentation is going to talk about the boys lacrosse field diagram, and in 2025 it's a point of emphasis, but that's kind of related to the 2023 rules changes affecting the substitution box, the coaches area, the team area, and the table area. And in this video, we're also going to talk about setting up the field properly for a boys lacrosse contest. If you have any questions about the information provided in this video, you can reach out to Luke Grimsman from our association. He is our primary trainer, or you can reach out to me. I'm the secretary for Gray Loa. So we'll start with the point of emphasis in the new 2025 Boys Lacrosse Rules Book. And that's the new field diagram as shown in the rules book and displayed on the screen here. What we're really looking at is the substitution box shown in red, the coaches areas shown in blue, the team areas shown in green, and the timer or table area shown in yellow. So the Rules Committee saw a need to update the field diagram to clarify the changes that were made in 2023. And this new diagram shows the separation between the teams and where the players should be, better defines that. So we're going to talk about that in this video. So let's review the changes that were made in 2023. So the first change is that the substitution box was moved to be plus or minus 5 yards from the midfield line. So on a football field, that would be from the 45-yard line to the 45-yard line, defined here in red, plus or minus 5 yards from the midfield. Previous to 2023, the substitution box was plus or minus 10 yards. And before that, it was plus or minus 5. So we're really just changing it back to plus or minus 5 yards. Then as a result of the substitution box becoming smaller, the coaches gained an additional 5 yards. And so the coaches box, with the rule change in 2023, goes on a football field from the 45-yard line to the 25-yard line. It is a full 20 yards now, shown in red, outlined here on the slide. Part of the reasoning for that change in 2023 is that it standardized the box with the girls lacrosse game and the NCAA men's game. Provides a little bit more control for the officials on substitutes going in and off the field. And it does have related safety benefits for the table and timer area. So let's talk about setting up the field for a boys lacrosse contest. We're going to start with the 7 mandatory cones. These are 7 required cones to set the field up. We'll start with the 4 cones that we put on each corner of the field. And obviously these 4 cones will define the end lines and the 2 sidelines of the field. And then the next cone we'll put on the midline near the sideline opposite of the table area. And I like to actually put this cone 1 to 3 feet off the sideline. It keeps it from being in the way or getting knocked over by the officials and by the players. It's really just marking the midfield line. And then the next 2 cones we put on each edge of the substitution box. And obviously the players will use these cones to make their entrance and exit in and out of the substitution box during their substitution process. And again, that substitution box are plus or minus 5 yards from the midline. And then we'd like to see 4 additional cones. These can be cones that are maybe a little bit smaller or of a different style. This will just be helpful if we put 4 additional cones in place. The first 2 would mark the back area of the substitution area, and that's 6 yards deep. That would define the box then for the substitution area. And then the other 2 cones would mark the inside edge of the team area. that helps keep the players out of the table timer area, and helps also define the coaches area a little bit better. So what we'd like to see, of course, the 7 mandatory cones, and then the 4 recommended cones set up as shown here. So the substitution box, as a review, is now 10 yards by 6 yards, identified in red on this slide, marked ideally by these 4 cones. And the coaches area is now 20 yards by 6 yards. It extends from the 45-yard line on a football field to the 25-yard line. So with that expanded coaches area, there should be no need to have the coaches on the playing field during live action. They should coach from that coaches area, and we do not need to have, we do not need to see players, we do not need to see coaches in the substitution box or in the table area or on the field during live play. The team area is 15 yards wide, extends back as needed, and we just want to make sure that players stay in that team area unless they're substituting in to the game or out of the game, or if they're serving penalty time. We do not want them in the coaches area. We definitely do not want them in the table timer area. And so that's a very well-defined team area now, and that's a point of emphasis for 2025. And then, of course, the table or timer area is 20 yards wide, 6 yards from the sideline. If we put the table back 6 yards from the sideline, that does help define the substitution box, but it also keeps the table personnel out of the way of any action and contact that might be happening along the sidelines here. So it's a safety issue. And we do understand that there might be fields where maybe we have some constraints here with a track on the field or other physical barriers that we'll just have to work around and do the best that we can. So this setup allows for the table personnel to have a better view of the field without players in their way. It allows for safety of the table personnel, and the new coaches area gives them more room to coach from the sideline. Again, we'd like to emphasize there's no reason for coaches to be on the field or in the substitution box or in the table area. There's that diagram with the 7 mandatory cones and the 4 recommended cones. It doesn't really matter if you do this permanently or temporarily with chalk or cones or paint. We want all the fields to define places for coaches, players, table staff. We do not want to see anyone interfering in this table timer area. So we covered the substitution box, shown here in red, the coaches area, shown in blue, the team area in green, table timer area in yellow. And we talked about how to set up the field with the 7 mandatory cones and the 4 recommended cones. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to our association. We're happy to help you figure this out. And we look forward to a real nice 2025 boys lacrosse season. Thank you.